Good morning, class. My name is Specialist Volpe. Today I will be giving you a brief on accountability. The information that I am giving you is unclassified. The overall risk level is low. We are in a conference room, so please be aware of any tripping hazards. Make sure to stay hydrated throughout the class. And remember, in the event of an active shooter, remember the 3 magic words: run, hide, and fight. The emergency exits are to my left and to my right. And so, like I said before, I'll be giving a brief on accountability. But before I start, I just want to ask the class, what does accountability mean to you? Okay, yeah, exactly. So, accountability can kind of be a few different things, especially within the Army. I wrote down a few definitions that I found that I thought were best to describe it. Required or expected to justify actions or decisions, responsible. An obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. Taking or being assigned responsibility for something that you have done or something that you are supposed to do. So if the definition for accountable is essentially responsible, then that means that accountability would essentially be responsibility, right? So in the Army, accountability is being counted for, ownership, and being present. So why is accountability important? It builds trust within your team. It's like when you're a child and your best friend asks you to keep their secret for them and not tell anybody. And when you do that, you don't tell anybody their secret. They trust you. You're showing them that they can count on you, overall making yourself accountable. It makes you successful. I don't think there's any big successful person who doesn't take accountability for their actions and doesn't commit themselves to specific things. Ownership. Admitting the faults that you've made will gain the respect of your team and display a great sense of accountability. It teaches others. In a leadership role, you set the example for all your soldiers. Taking accountability seriously will show your soldiers what is expected of them, and it will show them how to be accountable and take accountability for their actions as well. And overall, accountability is important because it is necessary for a successful team. Accountability plays a huge role in the Army. Without accountability, everything would be chaotic. Soldiers wouldn't show up for work, leaders wouldn't know how to lead, and there would be a huge lack of responsibility without accountability. Soldiers need to know how to take ownership of their actions, and leaders need to set that example. So let's talk about a different part of accountability, which is more of being present. In my unit, if we have a hurricane or a serious weather event or anything of that sort, we have a group chat in GroupMe, and the leaders in my group chat will require every soldier to acknowledge their message in the group chat, just to make sure that they're safe. By the soldier acknowledging that message, it's showing all the leaders, all right, cool, my soldier's good. So not only is accountability being responsible in all those things that we just talked about, but it's being available 24/7. Simple things like showing up for PT, showing up for work, answering your phone, and being at the right place, at the right time, in the right uniform are all parts of accountability. Be, know, do. This is covered by the Leadership Requirement Model, or LRM. We covered this earlier in BLC, but you can find it in ADP 6-22. I thought that this was important to put into this presentation about accountability because accountability and leadership kind of go hand in hand, and without these leadership traits, you can't be accountable for your actions. You won't be able to teach your soldiers how to be accountable. So the B covers character and presence. Character being your moral compass and the ability to tell right from wrong. Presence is military bearing, uniform, wear, and appearance. Know is kind of just knowing the things that you do know, but also the ability to go out and learn things that you don't know, being able to absorb new information. And then the do covers all competencies: achieve, develop, and lead. So you want to lead your soldiers to greatness. So an easy way to remember this is be the example to follow, know your craft, and do what is right. So traits of an accountable leader: outstanding character, humility, be the standard, and enforce the standard. So, I mean, they all kind of explain themselves, but outstanding character is defined as a person's moral or ethical guidelines, basically. They're qualities that helps a person determine what's right from wrong. It's all basically your moral compass. Humility is someone who is a willing learner. They maintain accurate self-awareness. They know their faults. They know what they need to work on. They know what they're good at. They know everything. They're just self-aware, and they're a willing learner. They're able to seek out criticism. Like humility as a trait, you're able to seek out criticism. So you're just constantly being able to absorb new information, and you're willing to learn about things that you don't know. Be the standard. We need to show our soldiers exactly what we expect of them and what we want as leaders. So be the standard, whether it's physical fitness, how you want the job done, or just simple stuff like wear and appearance of the uniform. You need to set that example. You need to always look sharp if you want your soldiers to always look sharp. If you come into work looking all messy and your stuff's just everything's all messed up, then your soldiers are not going to want to look good. They're gonna be like, oh, well, my sergeant's looking bad, so I can too. But you can't do things like that. You need to enforce the standards. Make corrections. Some sergeants I see, they don't like making corrections on their soldiers because they want to be the cool sergeant. But in this job, you can't always be the friend. You need to enforce the expectations that you want from your soldiers. If a soldier is not meeting the standards after you have clearly reviewed and shown them the standards, then you need to counsel them. Teaching soldiers to be accountable. There's really only one way to do this. Like I just talked about, you need to lead by example. Ways to do this are being mentally and physically fit. Living the Army values is a big one. Just be what you want them to be. Basically what it comes down to. You can't expect your soldiers to be accountable if you're not displaying it yourself. How do we encourage accountability in our soldiers? Set clear expectations, receive back briefs, open communication, and counseling. So, to set clear expectations, you need to outline all of this in your initial counseling. When you receive your soldier, you need to outline everything so that there is no room for error for them. In their initial counseling, they should be able to read every single thing that you expect of them and know it. Receiving back briefs. Allow time for your soldier to express their feelings, express their concerns, talk about anything with you that they're not understanding or just anything like that. And open communication. You do not ever want to make your soldier uncomfortable or feel like they cannot come and talk to you. If you don't clearly state your expectations to them during your communication, then they won't know what you need or want from them. And you don't want to be that leader that nobody wants to talk to. And then the counseling, of course, like we already talked about. So to summarize everything that I spoke about in this brief: definition of accountability. We talked about the importance of accountability, the different types. We talked about the LRM, what an accountable leader looks like, teaching soldiers accountability, and encouraging accountability for your soldiers. Does anybody have any questions? All right, well, if there are no questions at this time, this concludes my brief. Thank you.